Ag Tire Talks Driving Yield Through Tire Technology podcast is sponsored by Michelin Agriculture. Farm Forward, the impact of advanced tire tech.
James Tushner with Ag Tire Talk here. I'm with Dave Paulk. He's manager of field technical services for BKT Tire. Thanks for being on the program with us today.
Thanks, James. It's good to be here.
We're going to talk about a tire that I was thrilled to see at National Farm Machinery. Really, in my mind, BKT's premier tire. It's called the AgriMax V-Flecto. Let's kick it off. Why'd you decide to build this thing, Dave?
So the V-Flecto was built with VF technology. And I mean, that's been around for a while now, but basically what it is that tire carries 40% more load at the same air pressure as a standard tire, or you can carry 40% less load at the same air pressure as a standard tire. Air pressure dictates soil compaction, so you get less soil compaction with the VF technology, or in some cases, it allows you to carry a lot more weight than you could with a standard tire and at higher speeds.
Hey, man, just to get down to brass tacks when it comes to footprint. So say I'm at 100 PSI, I could take this down to 60 PSI just for demonstration purposes. And what that's going to do is just give me a much longer and a little bit wider footprint.
Yes. And the more footprint that you have, the more you can spread the weight of your tractor or implements out. So you have a wider footprint, a longer footprint to distribute the weight better. So you have less ground bearing pressure.
It's just kind of like the snowshoe effect, right? If I'm in Michigan and there's 4 foot of snow, I got a big old snowshoe on. I'm going to stay on top of it. But if I've got my size 10, bam, I'm just going to sink right down to the ground. So pretty darn easy concept. So you've got a full complement of wide range of sizes. They're all VF. They're also NRO. Why don't you talk about that for a moment?
Okay, so what the NRO is narrow rim option.
Yes.
So basically, if you look at a VF technology tire, the recommended rim is generally an inch or two wider than a standard rim.
Yes.
And the reason for that is for the deflection in the tire. It allows for the deflection in the tire, the wider footprint, and all that. Well, the NRO concept came about because in the beginning, if you did that, you had to also buy rims.
Yeah, you did.
Right. And so it was a lot of expense.
Yeah.
And so they've made the technology, the bead package, the sidewalls where you can use a standard wheel instead of having to buy the inch or two wider wheel if you want to buy VF tires. Now,
Amen.
not all sizes are NRO, but most of the sizes are NRO.
Here's what's cool about this, just getting down to brass tacks. If I bought a brand new tractor, I don't have to worry for the most part. Hey, is my rim wide enough? Do I need to buy a new one? A lot of times I could just put that VF technology tire on there. Bam, I'm already getting all the lower air pressure, all the stuff, and don't have to do a complete wheel and tire combo change out.
That's true. Yeah. And so with the wheels, if you look at a tire and the recommended rim, you also have alternate rims. Right. And most of the time, the NRO rim falls into that alternate rim width.
It does.
It's the narrower version of it, but it falls into the alternate rim width. So it's not like you're totally discarding the technology or you're totally going away from it. You're still fit in there, but you don't have to change. You don't have to go out and buy new wheels to put this tire on.
Right. I mean, by the time you do a tire wheel option, it's so much more expensive than just changing out the tires. Really thrilled to see that option. Talking about the fact that this is a premium tire for BKT, one of the things that really struck me is DLG. It's part of the German Agricultural Society. They do testing and they look at the soil compaction. Here's what I found, digging through the data. They tested, they never tell you what the other brands are, reference tire A, B, C, D. You stacked up against all these other guys out there. And at the end of the day, at 4 inches, at 8 inches, at 16 inches, you had less ground bearing pressure relative to all those competitors. Talk about where BKT was and where they are today for a moment, and specifically this tire, how it is advanced.
Yeah, so the DLG testing, of course, it's European, but it's a very intensive test. And I mean, they check many things. They check the horsepower. They do different air pressures.
Typical Germans.
Yeah, I mean, they go through the full gamut of testing with these tires. And they test with the ground bearing pressure, they have the Boeing rods that they put in there. So
Yeah,
they
they
can actually test how much pressure a tire is putting on there.
do.
And as we talked about before, air pressure dictates ground bearing pressure. So the less air pressure you can run and carry the weight. You still have to carry the weight of the tractor, the implements, or whatever, but the less air pressures you can run and do that, the better off you are for soil compaction.
Amen. Much, much better. Really, so really it spans the full gamut. It's got the VF, it's got the narrow rim option, and then now you've got the proof in the pudding. Really impressive to see that reduced soil compaction. Really knowing BKT for all those years, it's really been great to see the difference of where you began 25 years ago, right? Where it was kind of a low cost option to now you're building these premier products that are really world class and can stack up against anyone out there. So as we close our time on this VF710 60R42 specifically, and the wide range of tires that you've got in the AgriMax V-Flecto, any features and benefits that I might have missed or anything you'd like to add to drive home the points?
The only other thing that I would say is also some sizes are actually CFR rated also.
Yes.
And so that, which stands for cyclic field operation, which is for combines, grain carts, things like that have a cyclic load. There's some CFO sizes. We've added a lot more. We've started adding a lot more US sizes. We came out with that tire and there was a lot of European sizes. Now we're adding like the 480 8050s and the 480 8046s with the matching fronts to go with them. And so we've really expanded that tire line. That the VF, they're rated at 40 miles an hour.
Yes, D-speed rated.
With an E extension on most of them.
Right, to 43. Big deal.
Yeah, and so they're rated to carry all that weight that they need to carry at the speeds that they need to run at the new tractors run at. So it's a great lineup for us. It's a good lineup of tires.
Great. And just as a wrap, it's really got everything. It's got the VF. It's got the cyclic field operation. It's got not only the cyclic field operation, but also the narrow rim option. And then you've got the proof with the testing. And that's a wrap on the AgriMax V-Flecto.
Thank you.